Welcome back, everyone. Our grand finals have brought us here to game number 5 in this series. The first game 5 we have had this mid-season showdown in its entirety, and nothing could make this more hype.
Saving the best for last, as always. Cloud9 versus TL has been absolutely delivering. Again, the name of the game has been adaptation, adaptation, adaptation. Throughout this series, it has been about anticipating and responding to your opponent's changes in draft. And both teams have been doing it. We have not been having just a straight run back of the same comps time and time again. I'm again excited to see what will TL change, if anything, to respond to the different look Cloud9 brought in. Cloud9 moved more towards a standard teamfight style. They had a splash of their own style with it, with the AP Gragas, more about the engage, more about the execution, bringing in the Zoe in lieu of something like the Azir. Do they move towards that again? And does TL change anything up to respond to it?
And all these adaptations are one of the reasons why I think every single game has been close.
Yeah.
Game 4 was slower than all the other ones, significantly, for the first 20 minutes, but it was still just as close for so long, and that's what's made this series so fun. Now, once again, we're going to see the Nidalee and the Lilia band away because they're expecting Perks to potentially play a marksman or some physical damage mid laner. And then we've got Orianna, Thresh, Gangplank, and Seraphine also all taken off the table. Both of the junglers are still available, which means it's time for Hecarim and Udyr.
Yep, it does feel like it. Very well could be the same first 3 that we saw last time, just reversed. We could get Udyr plus Rel right now. Could be a Kai'Sa takeaway for TL. Wouldn't be surprised about that. Wouldn't be surprised about C9 going to Xayah. I want to see if there's going to be a wrinkle there, though. Cloud9 would be a team that perhaps mix it up more on red side, which, as you said, I was talking about it last time we saw this in draft. The double AP jungler ban here from TL denies a lot of the premier counter picks, which are physical damage champions, because you want to have an AP pairing alongside them.
Yeah.
And these are really the only AP junglers that people are playing these days. So will be Udyr, and will it be Rel? That is my expectation. Cloud9 will want to take as much time as possible to think this through. If they go Tristana, this could be Trist mid.
Oh.
This does give over, though. Kai'Sa Rel very likely to TL, which you're already thinking, oh my god, that is a good 5v5. I don't even care what the other 2 is. You just need these 3 and you've got a good 5v5.
That is a good 3v5, Azale, and I don't normally say that in League of Legends. So there it is, Kai'Sa Rel.
I think it's Alistar now. I think you want the good answer to Rel. I think that you want the ability for Vulcan to engage. It's one of his premier champions.
Yeah.
So no matter where you're putting the Trist, I think the Alistar makes sense here. And I really do not believe they will get it if it goes to the next round. So all 6 picks making a lot of sense to me here. Now it becomes about targeting where you think your opponents are going to go.
Solo lanes, baby.
Or if you think you're going to double ban Perks, well, maybe he's playing Trist, right? So that is the change there. Gnar makes a lot of sense as a ban. GP's already off the table. If you want to attack Jensen, if you're worried about split push, this could be a next TF ban for Cloud9. TL has gone towards things like Rise as their bans in the second phase.
Right.
Xayah being taken away as an answer to the Kai'Sa Rel, assuming that Tristana would go mid, also does make sense here. So we'll see if it's going to be the TF ban, or if they want to go towards, maybe the Victor, take that off the table, because Jensen has had some strong games on it. Instead, it will be the Camille. Very interesting. They're thinking that TL will mix things up. We haven't seen Alphari going towards the more pure split push style, besides that Rel, which is more kind of like halfway. It's not about the full committal to that lane counter, that split push. This also tells me 4th pick is Fudge. So TL will ban here. They'll likely pick for Fudge. They're banning out Camille as well as Gnar because they are concerned about a blind pick here, getting punished. With Karma being taken away, I think Sion makes a tremendous amount of sense. Then it's up to Alphari to show us how he's going to get an edge.
Yeah.
You could, if you want to look for a lane counter, move towards things like even the Mordekaiser, but that's pretty far out of the meta.
Yeah,
you could go tank
really
versus tank here. Malphite, I think, would be fine. Even things like Cho'Gath, I think, actually match up fairly well if you want to go that direction. Allows you to kill off the front line. I think Cho'Gath is a fantastic pick here. You can really burst through some of these ultra tanky frontliners with the feast, with the true damage.
Yeah.
It's also an advantageous...
Alistar gets stuck.
Yep.
There's no way. Despite the fact that Alistar has such an incredibly tanky ultimate, remember it's damage reduction. True damage goes through it pure and simple, and that will be an answer there as we get to see Jensen on Victor one more time.
Yep, the Victor here for Jensen. Oh, man, this would be such an interesting pick if we're going to get it. I don't think so, though. Silas! Look at the ultimates you can steal here. You talk about Cho'Gath having that ulti. How about Silas, the AP Silas here, stealing this one away? It's not Malphite, but damn, it is really, really strong here. Victor ulti is okay. The Rel is pretty powerful. The Hecarim is very powerful as engage tools, but the priority one is going to be the Cho'Gath. That is a game changer. Tactical will be playing the Kai'Sa here. It will be the Tristana for Sven. That is going to be sent down to the bottom lane. Both teams, very powerful 5v5s. Again, there is that slight wrinkle that says, yeah, this is the Cloud9 draft, and I think in this case, it is the Silas. It is the one where you have to get in there. You have to be risking your body in these fights. You cannot sit back and just farm it out, and what a beautiful sight. The stage looks great. The games have been even more beautiful. It has been such a fun day here, and I am excited to see these two drafts going into Game 5 and these two teams battling it out for the mid-season Showdown Championship and the chance to represent North America at MSI.
I don't even care if it's the best game of the day. I just want it to be as good as the 4 we've seen so far. They've all been so high quality in terms of not knowing who is going to win, in terms of it coming down to the wire, balanced on a knife's edge, back and forth and back and forth. Let the series end with the same chaos and fire that the thing has been forged in.
I'm all about it, man. Let's get it. This is going to be such an exciting game here. And the drafting has really been interesting. You know, TL is the more predictable side as far as the draft go. You know, I go into it, I feel like, all right, I have a good idea what they're going to pick. I can probably predict down the line what they're going to do. But they have drafted themselves something that is pretty rock solid. You can't really look at this and say, oh, well, why did you go for that?
What about X? What about Y?
Exactly. You maybe knew what they were going to do. Even the Cho'Gath was something that I could see coming. But it's a strong answer. It fits well with the composition. It is cohesive. And that is the TL signature style. 5 champions working well together to further their goal of having a powerful team fight. And I think this is going to be so interesting. You know, if the Silas can be effective, this is absolutely a game where Perkz can have those pop-off moments because there are great ultis to steal.
Yeah, this is a game where either one of the mid laners, who I think have both had very, very impressive series so far, can really be the difference maker in this 5th and final game. Whether it's Perkz stealing the right ultimate at the right moment, knowing exactly the proper windows to go in there as that melee champion like you were talking about, or whether we get Jensen having another massive performance on the Victor, being the control mage that can set the pace of the team fights, they both have that power.
They absolutely do, and I would say there is higher risk for the Silas. He has to make sure that he's not falling too far behind. Victor has an easier time contributing to fights from a disadvantageous position.
Yeah.
Silas, you got to throw yourself in there. It's like the AP Gragas. You are getting in there. That's the only way you are contributing to this game. And as a result, if you get pushed down in that early stage, that can be a concern. So I'll be interested to see if Armeo is going to pay additional attention towards that mid lane, try to punish Perkz, try to attack him, because they do have the ability to maybe get in behind this melee champion as he's pushing and try to punish him with that Ghost Hecarim.
Okay, there was a slight pause there at the start, but we are ready to go now. Grasp of the Undying for both of our top laners, Phase Rush for both of our junglers. Mid lane starts to break up the tie of the Keystones here with a Phase Rush for Jensen and a Conqueror for Perkz. And then down there in the bottom lane, Hail of Blades. Do want to point out Core JJ with the Exhaust. This is almost a must-take against Tristana just because of the way when she goes for the kill, she must jump in, get the reset, make sure that she's just right on top of you hitting that damage. Exhaust goes a long way.
It really does. And also the added wrinkle here of knowing that even if Triss doesn't jump in a 5v5, Silas will be there.
Yeah,
and you will get value out of an Exhaust on a Silas, so it's going to be a really powerful summer. I always see Exhaust as much more indexing towards the late game, and that is something that you have to keep in mind. You're not up against the Ignite, but this is really interesting. Cloud9 have not been going for level 1s at all, and they are 3 men top They are walking this in. Is this a lane swap?
Good lord, man.
I think we're lane swapping against the Cho'Gath. That is a bad matchup for Sion, but I cannot say I expected this. Cho'Gath, if he cannot get access to the wave, cannot sustain. That is how he functions. And they're going to show up behind him, and he is level 1.
Oh, Alfari! This is not where you want to be, buddy.
Blood?
Is this 5 games in a row? Ignite's been dropped. Vulcan's on the chase. Vulcan with a flash. Vulcan with a pulverize. Alfari knows that even if he flashes, it does not matter. 5 games in a row. It is Cloud9 with the top lane first blood.
I have got to talk about this Sion start. He started Ruby Crystal so he could have the execute without the Doran shield and start his own side. They're going into a split map situation, but they took 3 quadrants. This is the most 500 IQ level 1 I have ever seen. Invade, taken away, first blood the Cho'Gath. Your zombie Sion is lane swapping, takes away 2 camps from that side. Blabber retreats to the top side. All those camps are still there. That is such a big deal. Even his wolves are still up.
And look at what top lane looks like. Now Alfari has to flash here in the 1v2. And here's the thing that makes this the most impressive to me. Remember that it was Cloud9 who was down 2-1. They didn't deploy this against match point in game 4.
And it's situational, right? It had to fit. And it works because it is against the Cho'Gath. And if you want to try to punish the Sion, you go bot, you say, all right, let's dive the Sion. He goes zombie form, he picks up the CS, he TPs back. Cho'Gath can be punished in a way that Sion cannot.
And Fudge, he'll just continue. He'll take whatever he can get down here. He's not too worried about it.
Man.
And here's a look back at what Fudge did.
I love this.
Both camps at once.
I cannot overstate how cool this is. This is game 5 of the finals. This is not your solo queue game, testing out a new strategy. Cloud9 just lane swapped on finals match point against TL, coordinating that with a level 1 Sion execute to take 3 full quadrants of the map in the jungle, create massive jungle advantage, first blood for the Tristana, avoid a Sion bad matchup here. Like, this is just insane.
And now, things are even more interesting. Core JJ is laning with Alfari, and it's Tactical who's been left to lane solo against the Sion in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, both junglers are in the Cloud9 blue side jungle, as Armeo stole away a couple of camps. He's still only 1 camp behind his opponent in Blabber, but Blabber's level 4 against level 3. He's also Udyr against Hecarim. Blabber with the flash, trying to lock Armeo down. Perks comes over the wall. He goes for the E, he goes for the damage, he goes all the way. And Cloud9 have a 2-0 game.
It is Cloud9 signature style, never afraid of the what ifs, never afraid of what happens if it goes wrong here. They will test you at every turn. This start is magnificent, and now they're behind Jensen.
Oh, Jensen, you got to be careful about this one, buddy. Blabber's got the stun. They're chaining the CC together. Yes, Jensen's gravity well will keep him protected long enough for Armeo to show up. Perks now the target, but Team Liquid, no, they don't have the health to continue the fight. They back away.
I mean, that was a high-risk roam from Perks. You can see the CS disadvantage, but because they committed to it, because they saw the angle, they executed on it, they make it happen here. I mean, look at this commitment. You know he has no flash. You flash stun him just to delay him, so Perks can E, flash over the wall, nail the stun. That is confidence. That is a winner's mindset. He is not even considering what happens if that goes bad. Like, how catastrophic is that play? If you flash over the wall and you miss your chain, you down 2 waves mid, you spent 2 flashes, you don't even make it happen. They know in their head that is going to work. And to me, that is that winner's mindset, and such a cool start here. But TL, credit to them. Core JJ moved up to the top side, mitigated loss, got Alfari to a point where he has farmed. And, you know, I've been gushing about the Cloud9 start because I'm not going to lie, that is exciting stuff. But TL have held on here. They are down over 1,000 gold. It is an early disadvantage, but this is not game-ending damage. They have incredible scaling as well. Yes, Cloud9 does too, but it will be decided later than just the first 5 minutes. It's just really giving Cloud9 an early lead that they can try to work with here to now take a dragon, to move it around the map, and they're just doing this expertly.
things are back to normal now, right? 6 minutes into the game, the top laners have returned to top lane, the bottom laners have returned to the bottom lane, supports are back with 80 carries, so things are as expected, but it has led to a good lane state, a good game state overall for the side of Cloud9. Perks coming up into the top side, level 6 and level 6 versus 4 and 5. I'm gonna tell you right now who wins that one, and his name is Perks.
Nicely done. Roam down to the bottom side, kill him there. Roam to the top side, kill him there. Yes, the lane state is back to this normal spot where you would expect it. Bot laners against bot laners, top laners against top laners. But you skipped this brutal early laning where Cho'Gath just presses E and kind of walks at you, poking you away through the minions, proccing grasps, where Sion is going to really struggle. And now it's a TP flank. They're just not going to stop. Perks is going for mid.
Jensen still has his flash, remember that? He might be able to escape with that, and he will, but it does get that summoner spell.
I mean, this man is everywhere. He is trying to make an impact here across the map. Down to bot, get a kill. Up to top, get a kill. TP behind mid, not just to your tower. Let's get a flash. So here we go one more time. Remember, Sylas can steal your ult even if you don't have access to it.
Right.
These are not level 6 champions there. Alfari is not level 6 on the Cho'Gath, so he doesn't have kill pressure on Fudge. Fudge can just tank that up by time for his mid laner to get in behind him, comes in with that Grim ult, gets the kill. Just beautiful stuff.
As a jungler, that can be so frustrating when Sylas has your ult and you can't.
Yeah.
He's not even stealing the ulti at that point. He's stealing the idea of your ulti. But Perks' idea was to slam this game number 5 here so far. 1,500 gold lead for Cloud9. First Drake for Cloud9. Now first Rift Herald, again being started up by Cloud9. They are first to the scene every single time.
Absolutely. It has cost them some farm, right? When you look towards mid lane, yes, Perks has been everywhere, but he's down 20 CS. They want to punish Jensen, though, knowing he has no flash. They're looking to get more out of it. If you can kill Jensen and he has no TP, you can equalize on farm, and then it's all good things for Cloud9. But Jensen reading the move from the Alistar, playing it safe, playing it smart. He is trying to be that insurance policy here for TL, just saying, all right, it's cool, I'm up farm, we're scaling, let's calm it down, we have a strong comp, we can do this.
Armeo in the bottom lane, still no level 6. Devastating charge comes out, but Sven's flash and his ulti make sure that he stays safe.
Yeah, and you got to flash that because if you rocket jump, he'll actually just knock you out of the air and push you back, and then your flash will not create enough space that it's really going to do anything for you. So the early flash pretty much required at that point. Another thing we can talk about is when you have these Sylas versus Cho'Gath games, at a certain point, you can actually just send the Sylas out to the side lane against Cho'Gath, start stealing the Cho'Gath ultimate on cooldown, and feasting minions. And you actually get that bonus health. That just stays with you. The stacks are maintained, which can make you even tankier in those team fights. Gives you that bonus health to be able to get in there, scrap it up, and not get burst down.
Stacks are just a buff that happens to not have an expiration timer.
Exactly.
And now, Team Liquid will see if they can stabilize things a little bit here. The Rift Herald has been summoned up in... Blabber, what in the hell was that?
From a unique angle.
Yeah, I'm going to take that as a thought it was a sweeper type of angle. Normally, Shelly doesn't get summoned up right here, but here she goes. Looks like it'll be a 2-plate charge. Okay, money in Perks' pocket, money in Blabber's pocket, and everybody's feeling all right.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the expiration on it was looking like. If that was like, a, oops, it's about to expire, let's get it down. Or
I don't think they could have got it that quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. So just decided to drop it down. Does get the plates, and honestly, that's kind of the expected value when you look at the course of this series. It really hasn't been getting towers. It has been used to pressure these control mages out of their kind of safety zone, take away that tier 1 or at least chip it down so if they can get back to that Rift Herald the second time around. They can knock out that tower, make it more difficult for Jensen, who has been playing really well around the threat of these ganks, the threat of these roams, has not given up a death, has had to use the flash, but if you lose that tower, all of a sudden there's so many angles that you can be getting wrapped around from. It becomes a nightmare scenario for Victor early on.
Perks and Sven, the two guys you want to see if you're a Cloud9 fan at the top of the gold chart here so far. 2 kills for Perks, 1 kill for Sven. Yes, Perks is a little bit behind in farm, but it don't matter when you're farming champions, and Sven is staying on point with his opponent in terms of that CS management. Perks will walk up, he uses the Scryer's Bloom, finds out that Armeo is on the top side of the map here, so they know that Fudge might have to play around that here coming up soon, so get that wave shoved up, get the hell out of town, not a big deal. And there you go, Fudge can get that and get out.
Yep, could be able to push this in. It's also interesting to note, I wonder if Alfari would have even considered going for an AP Cho'Gath, which is actually really popular these days, or if he was always thinking about going tank. I mean, definitely once you get lane swapped on and kill at level 1, you're no longer going AP, right? You're just like, all right, I need to be tanky. I need to not be getting abused.
I mean, I'm assuming it was always tank because of the grasp.
That's what I would think as well. He's not going towards the comment. But it is interesting because sometimes you do see these kind of hybrid tanky builds where people go grasp, go a little bit of AP, then into tank. So interesting to think about. But either way, he has stabilized. He's looking pretty good up there on that top side. But Blabber maintains control of the neutral objectives. This is second Dragon here. It's going to be going down about 12 minutes for Cloud9. Then they can look up towards that next Rift Herald as that next point of attack. And they are quickly moving towards an Infernal Soul here.
Yeah, the Infernal Soul being the one that gets to occur in game number 5.
I mean, it was going to be really good no matter what, because it was Infernal or it was Ocean, right?
Yeah.
And they would have been smiling either way. I think in this case, Ocean probably would have been even better with Udyr, Alistar, and Sion. Like, that is just your invincible front line, but they're looking for Jensen here.
Perks goes in. He ends up taking more damage than his opponent did, but hey, it at least forces Jensen to step back a little bit. It'll allow them to maintain control. Vulcan is set up over the Wraith wall to maybe potentially make a play, but I don't think Jensen's going to give him the angle for it. Yeah, Laser can just kill off all these minions. Only the last one gets to make it to the turret. No dive's going to happen, but hey, Cloud9 will be happy stealing away this blue buff from their opponents.
Yeah, they're able to really get a lot done here. They're just constantly attacking any objective that they can go towards. And that's also, why he is willing to trade health for the push. Because if you hang around in this kind of neutral location, you're just going to get slowly poked away at by the Victor. So he wants to go in, trade with the Kingslayer, get that heal off, shove out the wave, utilizing his passive and just the spam spells, and then go somewhere else. He doesn't want to sit and just farm it out against the Victor. You will slowly get whittled down.
And I love the fact that he's playing around that. I love the fact that you're not just content to sit back and let him play his game and then just say, oh, I'll team fight him later. No. Perks' activity this game has been so impressive. And now they're going in yet again. Core JJ cannot get away. And Perks is on a killing spree.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Perks snapping him back in with his own ulti there. That is Core JJ. No flash, no ulti. Does go down. And that is always one of the things that I find really impressive about pro players in general is when you're put in these disadvantageous matchups, finding a way for it to really work in your favor, right? It's not just purely about that 1v1. But you got to be careful here. Remember, Feast is available. If he gets much lower, he's going to be in Feast range. Should be okay.
He's all right. He's all right for now. Yep. Alfari can't get him quite down to that threshold here just yet. And Alfari does have him stuck underneath the turret now, which means lane priority. And here's how Core got caught.
Yep, Vulcan clearing it out. Flash engaged, knocking him out of that. He pops the ulti, but Perks has it. So even when he flashes away, Perks just snaps him right back in with his own ulti. No chance of escaping. 3 early kills. And it's a TP flank from Perks. They want more.
Oh, baby, they aren't done yet. We have a TP showing up from TL. Alfari with a flash away. TL want to try to outplay this. Armeo's got to fall back a little bit further here. Alfari stuck in the front line, goes for the damage, goes for the burst, gets rid of Fudge. It'll be a 1-for-1. Team Liquid now having to fall back even further. Pulverize will not find the mark into Jensen, who continues his retreat. Armeo now the target of Perks with the stolen onslaught of Shadows. Jensen looks for a little bit more damage on the back end of the fight with the gravity well thrown down to block away the escape. Team Liquid, they get on the board for the first time this game, and they go 1-for-1.
Grabbing a kill for themselves there. I feel like this is the first little misstep we've seen from Perks. Looked like he got a bit greedy. Core has no flash.
Oh, Core JJ, what are you doing, man? He's face checking now, but they're able to turn it around. Why on earth am I doubting Core JJ? The one man who always comes out on top in these sorts of situations. I apologize for my sins. He gets the second kill of the game here for his team.
And he's got the exhaust, so he survives there. Sven is up here. Cloud9, I don't think you can fight this, but that was one where there was a bit of indecision. I think they wanted to try to get Jensen and Armeo, and I felt like had they just committed towards Armeo, they could have taken him down. But once Perks misses the Abscond Abduct onto Jensen, he then tries to ult onto Armeo, but he's now out of range there and does not connect with that. Perks getting shut down here. We can watch this one more time. Going in onto Alfari. Perks closing the gap here. Didn't quite have his ulti at the start of the fight. Nice flash from Alfari to actually deny that. Then when the ulti comes up here, after the initial kill on Alfari, this is where I'm talking about. I think you can just go immediately towards Armeo. Instead, he wants to get the bigger prize. He wants to take down Jensen, but the Abscond Abduct, he can't close the gap. Then he tries to turn and actually collapse with the Hecarim ulti, but he's out of range there. In the follow-up, we saw CoreJJ with the face check, but the exhaust, the aftershock, he survives, and they get the shutdown on Perks.
We talk about knowing your limits. I feel like CoreJJ wrote the book on his own limits. He knows everything about him. I feel like we never see him caught off guard. He's just there and he's ready to go. CoreJJ setting up a chance for Team Liquid to even out this game. They're about 1,000 gold down with a Herald summoned up. The plates have already long since faded, right? That was 3 minutes ago. So it's not like you're going to get an immediate gold injection for this. But they will take that mid lane turret incredibly low. It's already 2 Drake advantage here for the side of C9, but now the fight's breaking out. CoreJJ coming in for the counterattack. Vulcan's already dead, and Fudge cannot arrive in time. Perks is still looking for some damage. Armeo is going to be killed off next. Perks having to fall back a little bit. Sven doing the same. Fudge continues leading the charge, but Tactical has rejoined the fight too. CoreJJ tossing Sven back over his shoulder. Tactical into the back line, looking for the damage. Sven going to be taken very low. CoreJJ going to be taken down. Sven with the reset.
Gotta dodge the W.
The kill onto Alfari. Jensen's looking to stay alive, but Perks is saying no. Team Liquid lose 4. Perks wants to make it 5. Everfrost says no problem. Double kill over to the mid lane from C9.
What a team fight from Cloud9, from how Sven managed to stay alive against Tactical and CoreJJ, to Perks stealing the Cho'Gath ultimate, killing off Armeo, getting the stack for himself as well, and now the prize of Soul Point here. They are straight onto it. Armeo is out on the map. Blabber is here.
Oh, man.
Vulcan is going to try to zone Armeo. He has his ulti, but it would be a one-way trip, and I'm not sure this is going to be where they make their stand. So Cloud9 wins a massive team fight here in Game 5, 4,000 gold ahead. Perks is absolutely popping off. Let's watch it one more time in the Bud Light Ace. In they go. Initially, it looks like, wow, this engage was not it. It's going to be TL. But then Fudge on the flank, forcing Jensen out. He has to flash out of there. The stolen Cho'Gath ulti executes Armeo. And then from here, you've really got to track how Sven is kiting this out. CoreJJ chasing him with the flip. He gets in range, does get that flip. He jumps back. Tactical saved his ulti to then follow up, but he has the ulti to get that. Instead of just panicking and running away, he turns the core, kills him off, resets the rocket jump, gets out, all while Fudge is able to dodge the W, survive, and Perks is finishing off the rest of the team. Sven smiling. He knows that was huge for the team, and now they are going for it. Oh, this is too much.
Okay, Perks is trying to make the moves here. The Chaos Storm might finish the job, but it's so close, but still so far.
Cut the tapes.
Perks just feeling himself a little too much here, a little bit too hyphy. Goes for the solo kill on Jensen and can't find it.
I mean, look at Jensen's health. He's got a sliver. He would have had it had he connected with the Abscond Abduct, but Jensen, nice sidestep, does avoid it. And the fact that Armeo is there means it is Perks going down, a little bit of egg on his face, does get shut down. Jensen TPing back onto the map. They're trying to collapse.
CoreJJ's going in. They're going after Sven with the exhaust already down. They need a little bit more damage, but they can't quite find it. CoreJJ now going to be stuck. The fight turning around. Sven on a killing spree. Team Liquid overextending into the trap set down by C9. Blabber continues running forward, but he has to be careful.
Here
One more auto attack might
Perks.
be able to finish him off. Alfari over the wall. He needs a little bit more, but Perks is back into the back lines with the onslaught of shadows. Tactical will try to survive, but it will not happen. Alfari's trying to walk away. Cho'Gath is a big, tanky boy, but he's slower than Sin. And Cloud9 will take him out of the picture.
Are they going to go to Baron on spawn? It's 20 minutes. It just came up. They want Baron. Cloud9 are not messing around here. They are trying to win this game right at 20 minutes.
This is a Game 5 plan from Cloud9. This is a Game 5 performance from Perks. And this is a Game 5 20-minute Baron Nashor.
How insane has this performance been for Perks? For Cloud9, I don't care what you spent. The investment is well worth it at this point. Pushing out our mail. This is how it started off. Vulcan is caught. Sven goes over. CoreJJ does catch him, but again, disengage with the Buster Shot was huge. Fudge arrives, creating space here, means CoreJJ is sectioned off, does get killed. That is the first reset. Then, knowing Armeo has no ulti, they just need to play this slow, buy time for the respawning Perks. He finds the ulti he wants, he comes in from behind, grabs the Hecarim ult, fear onto both the TL carries. That gets the reset for Sven.
So good.
He's in on top. Another kill. Alfari cannot escape. He goes down. It's the Baron on top. This is a legendary performance from Perkz, the most decorated Western League of Legends player of all time, showing what people are talking about when they are referencing the Perkz playoff buff.
He's got more kills than the whole enemy team. It is 8-6, not Cloud9 versus Team Liquid, Perkz versus Team Liquid. That is just incredible here from him in this game. Cloud9 as a whole, doing the lane swap, having the Scion take the jungle camps. Everything is impressive about this game.
They're looking for the fight.
Alfari's gonna get caught out now. Gravity well placed down to try to keep him alive here a little bit. Armeo going in, Armeo going out in a body bag. Sven is unstoppable.
Is this the victory march? He's dead, that's 30 seconds. They have Baron this early on for 130. They are pushing forward. Will they continue to posture forward, or will they back up to try to extend the gold lead? It looks like the call is that discretion is the better form of valor here. They're gonna back it up. They're gonna take what they got. This is a 9,000 gold lead. This is sole point. There is no reason to risk anything here.
Well, they want to go for a fight anyway. It's Cloud9 after all. CoreJJ can disengage before the chain CC gets to apply in full this time. So now those Baron-empowered recalls are going to send everybody home. They can shop up. You can see items falling into everyone's inventory as they go back to spend that money.
And that's Deadman's Plate done. That's Turbo Chem Tank done. These item completions are coming in thick and fast for Cloud9. You look at even Sven. He is close to his IE. This is almost a 3-item Tristana here when you're going for the 4th dragon. TL are faster to the dragon.
I don't think they're fast enough.
No, it doesn't
Cloud9's
look
already
like
arrived.
Now the question is, do you try to contest? If you lose here, if you lose a 5v5, the series is over. So they've got to decide, do you give up Soul and wait for later, or do you fight now?
Oh, CoreJJ, he's over the wall. He's grabbed by Perkz, but he gets back out in time. Vulcan continuing to zone. Alfari's in the pit. The dragon goes over to C9, but what about the fight? Vulcan will be killed off first. Tactical grabbing a kill on that. It is a 1-for-1 trade support for top lane.
And that is massively in the favor of Cloud9. We tried to see the flank from CoreJJ. He was looking for the angle. He's looking for the hero play, but Perkz pushes him back, drops the Victor ulti on him to escort him the rest of the way out of that fight. Cloud9 secure the Dragon Soul here, Infernal.
23 minutes.
And they are snowballing. I mean, look at the items on Perkz here compared to what Jensen has at this point. He already has 2 fully completed items, the Sheen plus the book, the magic book on top.
The BM book. Oh, baby, the Medjai's Soul Steel. Hey, if there was ever a game to build it, how could it not be this game? Let's take another look at the fight.
All right, here it is one more time. The initial combo onto CoreJJ pushes him back. At this point, it's a one-way trip for Alfari. He tries to get in. He was close. He was so close to actually getting a range of Feast. He didn't have Flash. If he has Flash, that's his dragon. But those little Cho'Gath legs were not moving his big old body fast enough. He was about one little step away from chomping down and preventing that soul.
Unfortunately, the size increase per feast is mostly focused on the rest of his body, and the legs just gotta remain.
Feet stay the same size.
A little bit unlucky. A little bit unlucky. You can't skip leg day, Cho'Gath. You can't skip leg day. Team Liquid has such a difficult road in front of them. 10,000 gold down, 25 minutes into the game, Dragon Soul possessed by their opponents, and not a single turret they've taken. They have no control over the map. They are stuck inside their base, and Cloud9 have the freedom to do whatever they want in this game.
You need a miracle, because Cloud9 came into this Game 5 with a killer instinct, with the best pre-planned level 1 I have seen in League of Legends in so long. They created a big advantage from the word go, and now TL has been battling back from that ever since. And when you look at TL, it has got to be about the engage. It has got to be about finding multiple members stacked up. CoreJJ has got to get him, and you need to follow up from Armeo, from Alfari. If you can kill off someone like Perkz or Sven before they can do anything in the fight, you've got a chance. Barring that, this game is toast. This is a 10,000 gold lead with Soul on top. It is not remotely close as far as the itemization goes, and if you don't have a hugely advantageous fight, you just get beat down by the wallet.
Oh man, that wallet is heavy right about now. Elder Drake, 3.5 minutes. Baron, 30 seconds. Cloud9, control over the whole map. Team Liquid, struggling to staunch the bleeding. Any wards they try to place outside of this base are going to be swept away so swiftly. Armeo, he just walks past the gate blast cone, and he's already on top of a Cloud9 ward.
Yep, and Cloud9 look like they're setting up for Baron. They want to make no doubt about it. They do not want to siege into a possible engage that could maybe give TL a way back in. So instead, you eliminate all vision, you wait for Baron spawn, and now TL is faced with a near impossible task of walking through all of the dark and dangerous territory here to even approach the Baron.
Yeah, look at this.
Knowing that Sven and Blabber could be two-maining it for all we know right now.
Hey, look at that. My big brain co-commentator's brain has once again flexed its muscles, and Fudge is flexing all over Team Liquid. Armeo's already down and out. They'll pick up another one here on the back end, too, with Core JJ dying next. Tactical with a killer instinct, but it will not matter. Fudge is chasing him down. There's the third kill. There's number 4 as Alfari falls over. It's a double kill for Perks. Jensen can do nothing but walk away as Cloud9 go for the victory march right now. They've got the Baron. The inhibitor has respawned. That'll only buy them a couple of extra moments. Jensen knows there's nothing left to do here. Cloud9, they will take down their greatest rival in Team Liquid. They won the regular season. They stayed in the upper bracket. And Cloud9 are your first ever mid-season Showdown champions.
And what a Game 5 performance. Absolutely incredible. The pre-planning from level 1. The absolute domination, and there's no other word that fits it, from Perks. This was an incredible game from him. Sven, celebrating with you and me, with the fans at home. You gotta love it. He's taking his victory run here. He wants that trophy. Get out of his way. It's his.
He lifts the trophy, and the man next to him, Perks, will now join him as the only other player to have won Europe and North America.
What a performance.
Hoist it high, Perks. You earned it. What an absolutely phenomenal showing. For 4 straight games, we got to see these two teams beat the living hell out of each other. And in game number 5, when your endurance is truly tested, when your creativity is put on the line, and when your mental fortitude is demanded, it is Cloud9 that runs out of the gate like a bat out of hell, and they're on a mission for that trophy.
What a story for this team to miss out on MSI due to a global pandemic last year, to be able to win in spring. Cloud9 will be attending their first MSI ever as an organization. They deserve it.
What an awesome conclusion to this spring for this team, especially after having to lose out on the chance at MSI last year. It was the first time in years that this team had won the championship, right? For the longest time, they were always stuck at that number 2 spot. They come back, they win it, they claim that victory, and then the reward disappears in front of them for circumstances entirely beyond their control. But now they get their shot, and damn if they didn't earn it.
And we've just come full circle. It was TL versus Cloud9 in the lock-in tournament to start our year. It was these two teams that felt like they had been on this crash course to be battling at the top of North America. Here they are. The development from this roster has really shone through. From lock-in to now, it is night and day. 5 times Alfari first blooded in this series. When you look back to lock-in, it was a series defined by the gap between these two top laners. A gap that no longer seems to exist.
The gap has been erased. I mean, Fudge stepped up, Blabber stepped up, Sven stepped up, Vulcan stepped up. Perks is the king of the damn staircase. Nobody steps up the same way that he does in these moments, in these clutch times where your raw skill as a player can determine a win or a loss. It's Perks.
It was absolutely incredible performance from him. You know, I'm not going to get over that game 5 for a long time. I think to not only formulate the plan that they had at level 1, but to have the confidence to execute on it. to in Game 5 of the finals, when we have not seen lane swap meta for years, say, we're going to lane swap on the Cho'Gath, we're going to move Sai on bot, he's going to execute, take all these jungle camps, we're going to get 3 quadrants from level 1 and First Blood the Cho'Gath, is just absolutely unreal. And it speaks to the preparation, it speaks to the confidence that this team has, and it speaks to the fact that they are well and truly deserving champions of the LCS.
Especially with how close that it was. They weren't up against, and I think the structure of everything, the double elimination bracket, they went up against the best possible team as their competition. We got to see how close this series was back and forth between them. And that guarantees me the hope and the faith to know that we are sending our best possible team to MSI.
Absolutely. You've got to say they really did perform when it counted. I've got to say my heart also goes out to TL, though. Santorin unable to attend the finals because of health reasons. That has to hurt for him. And TL really did put on an admirable performance without their star jungler, Armeo, really stepping up to the plate to make this an incredible, incredible series. If it weren't for the good performance from them, we would not have seen such a shining series, such a great example of these two teams battling it out.
We celebrate the win for Cloud9. We applaud the valiant effort of Team Liquid at the same time. I know fans are going to be so excited to see what they can bring to the table in summer. Once they get back, they're going to be hungry for their vengeance. They're going to want a chance again. The rivalry between these two teams only continues to build. It only continues to get more exciting and get more fun. And I just can't wait to see more of it, man. I can't wait.
Man, this has just been such a good day to be a League of Legends fan, to be part of the LCS. An LCS fan has been such an honor for me to be here casting this game. So much fun being back in the studio, being back here with you guys, watching at home, watching some incredible, incredible League of Legends. We love you guys at home.
And after a 5-game brawl, the Cloud9 faithful have been rewarded. Now LaTigris will be talking with our boy Blabber in the post-game interview. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Captain Flowers. I am beyond honored to present to you one of the first Cloud9 champions here for Spring 2021. Blabber, spring is all about repeats for you. We have already awarded you your second Honda MVP, now your second LCS title in the same exact span of time. How do you believe C9 were able to take down Team Liquid in this series?
I think we came into the series with full confidence. Honestly, I think all 5 of us knew that we were better, and even when we were down 2-1, it's Perks' comfort zone, and I think there's no doubt in any of our minds that we would win this series.
You may be extremely confident in that, but from the audience perspective, we didn't know what to expect from this. Not only was it 5 games, but going into it, the jungle substitution on the Team Liquid side. In fact, we thought about how that might affect the way that Team Liquid plays. But what about you as the jungler facing off against Armeo, whether strategically or emotionally? How did that affect the way that you approached the series today?
I definitely don't think I played any differently today than I normally do. I really respect Armeo as a player. He's a good friend of mine, so I respected him, and I definitely treated him like any other opponent. I think maybe they changed their game plan, right? It really sucks for Santorin to see his team lose, right, and not be able to do anything about it, and I feel really bad for him. But I think regardless, I think we played well some of the games, and I'm just glad we won.
I mean, from the fan perspective, everyone was impressed with the play on both sides. Obviously, everybody in the LCS wants it to be a 5-game series. But tell me a bit more. When it comes to those moments where a game can be determined by a single mistake, who's making the calls? What is being said between games? Who's calling for those draft changes going into Game 5?
So at least specifically for a Game 5 draft, that's something we've been practicing for weeks. And it's something that we didn't want to pull out until we really needed to. And I think we had full confidence in our Game 4 draft that we would win with Hecarim first pick. So we knew we'd win that game, and we decided that we could save it for Game 5 to pull it out. It was obviously a team decision, and I'm really glad it worked. And regarding calls, I think all of us do a great job not panicking game and making the right calls to win the game.
Calm, cool, collected to secure the victory, securing the LCS championship title. But beyond that, you were robbed of the MSI experience last year. Tell me a bit about the team reaction to knowing that you will be attending this time around and what you plan to do in the weeks ahead of you.
Yeah, so I think we're all really excited to go to MSI to play against the best teams in the world. Damon's already qualified, so I'm personally excited to play against Canyon, and they're in a group, right? So I'm excited to play against the best teams in the world to get really good practice and to hopefully improve for summer. And yeah, I mean, last year it really sucked. We didn't get to go MSI due to COVID. I mean, it's unfortunate, right? But I'm just glad that we're able to go this year.
And we are all very excited to continue cheering you on to represent the LCS. Blabber, thank you so much for joining me, and congratulations again on your victory.
Thank you very much.
We've got so much more coverage to come, including additional interviews. For now, let's head over to our analysts on the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Tigress. You heard it from her there. We'll hear more from our champions in just a little bit, so stick around to hear from more of those victorious players. But once again, congratulations to Cloud9, your 2021 Spring Champions. 12 months ago in spring, they were able to hoist that trophy. However, it was in the remote environment. And in fact, it was Sven who hoisted it so high, he broke it. He broke it within hours of hoisting that trophy. And you know what he did? He did not lose his opportunity to hoist it once again, Raz.
Got it again. I like that. I just love the enthusiasm. The moment they knew at the end of this game that it was clinched, there is no way they could lose it. Hopping out of their seats, almost breaking a chair, by the way. I'm going to put that
true, right? Yeah, he traded out the trophy for a chair this time around.
I also like how it was, Perks and Sven, the first two on the stage. They were like, where's the rest of our team? Sven did the full lift, and it was like, who's next?
And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, those are guys who have been in winning situations before.
They know how to get on stage.
Yes, exactly. They know what comes next after you win the title. Again, Perks now joins Sven in that club of players who have won both in EU and NA. That's the 9th trophy in his case. But I think more importantly, it is the culmination of what this team was built to do. Not only win domestic titles, but as we heard Tigress alluding to, make it to international performances. That performance that they were robbed of last year because of the COVID environment. And now this time around, they're going to get a chance to show up on the international stage.
That's honestly my favorite thing, right? Because 4 of the 5 players here were not able to go to MSI last year when they were looking so dominant in that meta. So again, in a meta that really, really seems to suit this team, and I don't think 11-6 or whatever MSI is going to be played on 11-6, they'd still be fine. I mean, I'm just like, I'm so excited and I'm so happy for them that they finally get to go and prove themselves and see how well they'll do in international competition.
They did it in absolutely brilliant fashion. That Game 5 above all else made most of us pop off with such incredible glee. And with all of that said, I want to hear more from the players themselves. So we're going to hand it right back to Tigress for another Verizon post-game interview.
5, 7, 8.
Thank you so much, Dash. This time around, I have Perks, I have Sven. After their 5-game victory, I'm going to come to you, Perks. They were just talking about it on the desk. 1 year ago, your friend beside you was the first to earn a title both in the LEC and the LCS. Now you've accomplished the same feat. While you are already the most decorated player in the West, what does it mean to you to achieve an LCS title on your first split here?
Well, it's really important for me because I want to go to MSI and I want to compete against international teams. So to go to MSI, I have to win NA, and it's just a nice thing that we get to actually improve a lot during the split, and we get to win the trophy in the end.
Yeah, thinking about MSI, it feels like it's right around the corner. Sven, I know that you have been extremely vocal about the journey that C9 has taken since last spring. Feelings of complacency, but still a hunger to get back here on the stage for the championship. Can you tell me a bit more about that journey and what it means to be here on the stage in person to receive this championship?
Even though we won spring, MSI was cancelled due to COVID. So we fell into like a slump in summer split that I can't help but think that if we went to MSI, we would have slumped there and lost, but we would have gotten a reality check earlier and been better in summer. So this year, I'm very excited that we can actually play MSI because I think MSI is a huge learning experience for any new team and new players. I think it will be really good for a whole team as a whole. I think we'll come back to summer and be even better than we are right now.
And MSI is a whole other beast, as Perks, you were just saying, looking forward to facing off against that international competition. When looking at Cloud9 today, especially comparing to last year, Rainover, your coach, was talking about the flexibility that C9 has. And Perks, we can't help but feel part of that is because of you joining the squad with the large pool of champions that you have. When looking towards international competition, how important do you think it is to have this flexibility and be able to display it in a 5-game series?
I mean, it's definitely very important to be able to play every good champion in the meta. Otherwise, you're just kind of making your team like have a harder time, I guess. So I just try to think what is the best and what is the good in the comp, and always try to play that. And I think that I'm doing it quite well right now. So also I really like playing AD carries, but I didn't really like playing bot lane. So playing AD carries in mid lane is like a lot more fun. So that also gives us an advantage over other teams right now.
That's one of the most fun things. We're seeing you back in the mid lane position, but we still get to see that ADC play from you there. Sven, it's also been fun getting to see the two of you together once again. We've talked in the earlier part of the season about that synergy and what it brings to the team. But if we're looking at where Cloud9 started compared to now being as hot as y'all are looking going into MSI, how much do you feel the synergy that you two have has played into that and being able to accelerate the growth that C9 has experienced?
Honestly, not that much, to be honest. I think it's mostly out-of-game stuff that helps us. I think Mithy, Perks, and I haven't changed that much as people from who we were back then. But I still think that most of our growth is comes from our cushion stuff. They are really good, I think. I think Mithy, Max Waldo, Rainover, and Veigar deserves a lot of credit for our split this season. I never had any doubt that even with a bad start in Login Tournament, that we would be the best team in summer. I had some doubt about spring, I'll have to admit it, but I knew we could win spring. And I think that our coaching staff deserves a lot of credit for us becoming a better team over the course of this split.
Speaking of the coaching staff, I do want to call out one in particular, Mithy, because Mithy, alongside you, Perks, two people that Alphari was calling out as really wanting to take down in the series. Obviously, it was a different result on behalf of Cloud9. Do you have any words for Alphari, whether respectful or otherwise, after achieving this victory?
Well, Alphari was really hard to play against. We were like really focusing in draft a lot and in gameplay as well. Blabber was ganking top quite a bit, so I'm quite happy that I've beat him again. Again. But I can't help but feel a bit like sad that he is getting chased all over from Europe to NA by me, and so he just can't get a trophy. But maybe like next split he will do it. So I hope not. Right? I'll try my best again. But yeah, nothing but mad respect for Alphari.
We're all looking to keep watching that chase as it goes on. Congratulations again.
I'm going to play top lane against him next split, like for sure.
We're holding you to it. We have it now on camera live.
Now I'm doing it.
All right, you heard it here. We're going to get to see some Perks in the top lane. Congratulations, y'all. And Sven, hey, you don't have to break the trophy this time on the ceiling. We got a whole open
That was my fault, by the way. Just gotta put it out there.
Okay, good to learn that. Let's send things back over to the desk.
No. All right. Well, hey, I'm glad that was settled. I'm glad we finally got the full story on that. It definitely wasn't Sven's fault. Look, ever humble are the two of those absolute all-star of players there as they both pick up yet another title for themselves. And again, I love even the conversation and the respect given to the opponents immediately after. Yes, maybe we would love to see Perks laning against Alphari, and maybe you could make the argument in this Game 5 that Alphari laned against everyone, Emily. I don't really know.
So let's take a look at this lane swap here right now. It's really dependent on the fact that you, as we see here, have the Sion killing himself, using the zombie. I love Sion level 1s. We've seen them throughout the years. But when you talk about what a lane swap does and how it's kind of perfect for the way that Tristana backs and get items and the way that Sion can kill himself and just come back to lane, he doesn't lose anything. And when you swap lane, you want to get advantages for, you know, both parties while getting either advantageous laning matchups or setting your opponent behind. I think that accomplished this really well.
Yeah, a large jungle advantage for Blabber, because Hecarim didn't get an opportunity to get his side of the camp. So like from Team Liquid side, Armeo was in a really bad position, and an experience advantage for the Cho'Gath, or at least for the Sion, who ends up, of course, getting the Gromp and the blue, like you mentioned, while Cho'Gath is having a hell of a time on the top side of the map. So like, like the actual advantages you end up getting are insane.
Yeah, and I have to say, you know, we talk a lot about Perks, talk a lot about Blabber, but Sven was incredible this series.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
had no like huge mistakes, and in this fight, kited it out perfectly to allow his team to actually turn that 3v5 around. He had an incredible series. I mean, most people on C9 did. It was a back and forth series. Everyone was stepping up at different points in time. But I think you also saw great stuff out of Perks too. He was so active on the map. He was down 20 CS, but only because he was busy picking up 2 kills by roaming to the side lanes.
Yep.
And this was some of the stuff that he was known for back in Europe, was being able to go find that extra play that you have to actually seek out.
And that's what's happening throughout the series. We were talking about the fact that now we're getting playmaking champions on a Perks because you have confidence. Even listening to Blabber on stage, talking about the confidence that they had, that even down games in the series, and then going into game 5, that they had absolute confidence. You have to have that confidence, right? And so when you have confidence on the individual players that, we're better than our counterparts, then pick up the Silas, start moving on the map with the advantage that you already have. This is great stuff from C9, and I can easily see that transfer into international play. Turn off the nameplates, and you can take those wins.
And I love the Silas pick here. Silas, again, like this lane swap, not something that you're going to run every single time because you can prepare for it. But as a last lock-in to what TL was doing, great pick, great champion for Perks to be able to carry on. I loved how active he was on the map. It was just an amazing Game 5 from C9.
We're going to have plenty more time to talk about, to gush over this series as a whole. But for now, one more time, we are going to throw it back to Tigress for our new champs.
Thank you, Dash. We've got our final 2 players that took to the stage today. We got Fudge and we got Vulcan. Now, Fudge, last time I talked to Vulcan, he was telling me about you. Even if the whole community doubted him, he's still the guy you want. How do you assess your play here today in this best of 5?
I think some games I played okay, like mechanically. I think, for example, like the Gragas game that we won in game 4 was actually like my worst game out of all of the games, even though we won. And I do think that going into the series, everyone was expecting Alfari to just like stomp me, I guess. Debatable, but there was some people expecting Alfari to like play really well and sort of have like a gap in the top lane every game, but I don't think that actually happened. And I think Blabber also played really well around top lane waves to like punish Alfari, and they didn't play as well around top lane waves as us.
Don't sell yourself short. After the last time you faced off against Team Liquid, many were looking to you to hold it down there in the top lane against him.
Yes.
Now, of course, when it comes to a best of 5 series, though, things evolve game to game. Vulcan, you had talked in multiple instances about looking upon the past series of Team Liquid. They just played yesterday. There's so much you can learn, but you had to adapt here in the series today. Going into game 5, how did you all come across your decision to have that early game strategy you did?
Well, the strategy of lane swapping level 1 is something that we've been practicing for like many weeks in the hopes that we would pull out in the finals. And in the previous rounds of playoffs, we were actually like hiding it from the other teams when we were ready to play it. And we just felt like we should save it for the best moment to pull it out and surprise everyone, because we were thinking if we play Sion and then maybe they'll be thinking about it, but if we play Sion a lot and don't swap, and like the latest game of the season we swapped, then they'll never expect it. So, it ended up working pretty good for us. It was like the best case scenario where they knew like very late that we were going to swap, and ended up being like obviously very good for us.
And you waited till the last possible second, do or die there in game 5 to get yourself the LCS championship. This was a big moment for all of you that we saw on the stage. I do want to give recognition to Rainover, though, as the coach, stepping into that head coach position this year. Fudge, you have so much experience with him due to your time in Academy last year. What were some of the things that he was sharing with you and the rest of the team between games, after games, as far as celebrating this overall victory and keeping your mindset in it?
I think something Rainover does really well is he listens to all of our opinions and tries to like come to a conclusion like after listening to all of them. And I think he doesn't like try to force any of his own opinions on us, or like he like has really good reasoning if he has his own opinions. So I think Rainover has done really well at like adapting to his players, and he doesn't really like he doesn't really make the players feel uncomfortable like ever. So I think he's been really helpful in just like making the team more cohesive, and it worked out really well, I guess.
Yeah, it did work out indeed. Now, I'm going to allow you a moment in the end to answer this question as well. But Vulcan, this is the last time we're getting to speak directly to you players, thinking about those that have supported you, the Cloud9 fans out there, tracking along this journey since last spring. Any words that you have to share specifically with that audience?
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to say thank you so much to all the C9 fans out there. I think the support that we've had is like pretty crazy, and it's not even comparable to any team I've been on in the past. So thank you guys so much for that.
And yeah, I'm happy that we could win like a second trophy in 2 years, and hopefully we'll represent NA and Cloud9 very well at MSI, and I'm pretty confident that we can. So.
And Fudge, it's your first title.
Yep. For me, a lot of C9 fans didn't like me at the start, but there were also a lot of fans that were like supporting me, sending me a lot of like really like supportive DMs. And I'd like to thank all of the fans that were like still supportive of me, even though I wasn't playing that well at the start. And I think that going into Summer Split, I'll play even better. And even at MSI, I think we'll actually do really well. So thank you.
Well, like I told your teammates before you, we are all very much looking forward to tracking your journey at MSI, cheering you on. Congratulations once again on your LCS championship victory here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is all we have to hear from the players. Thank you so much for giving them the time to speak their words. We're going to head things over to the Bud Light Breakdown.
Thank you very much, the Tigress, and welcome to the Bud Light Breakdown. So proud to be calling Cloud9 our LCS Spring 2021 champs and MSI representatives here for North America. All split long, though. We've been debating who would be the new king in the mid lane in North America, and I think today we can definitively say that that title belongs firmly to Perkz, our finals player of the series.
Deserved. I think Perkz is a huge playmaker. We saw that at the very end. Throughout the entire series, this is going to be a great series to look back on. His Zoe play was another example of that. Just in phenomenal stuff.
I think he's just so versatile, and that's what really jumps out to me. And not just in terms of play style, but I think also in terms of mentality. Because I think, play style, you can be talking about champions. He can play, control mages. He can swap to the Sylas and start playing more playmakers. But I also think he has some of the best risk-reward scenario thinking of anyone I see. He knows exactly when it's worth it to go really aggressive and take the extra risk to try and actually make a bigger play because it's a bad situation or whatnot. And I think that's one of the things that he does so incredibly well. And I think you got to see all of his skills kind of on display in this series as he shifted modes and champion play styles multiple times.
And I mean, that's incredibly valuable going into an event like MSI, right? Especially with us being on a patch behind. You're going to need that in-game leadership, like in and out of game. So with the team in terms of like traveling and adapting, but also like his versatility can't be understated just as a player. Like this is someone who role swapped and was still the best in his position in the world. So, I mean, it's just nuts having a player like that going into an international competition like the Midseason Invitational.
Man, he's won the event res. Yeah. That's got to feel pretty good, knowing that you got at least that much experience on your squad going forward. Because a reminder again that while Cloud9 has been to Worlds time and time again, this is the first time that they will be going to MSI.
Yeah, and I think MSI is a destination that starts a lot of stories, and it starts a lot of player like legacies. Because like my MSI memories are like RNG and their Golden Road.
Oh yeah.
I remember that, happens. G2 and their Grand Slam, but like it sets up the expectation. And even hearing from players like Sven on stage talking about if they have had that experience last year, they could have adapted, grown with that international experience, and have moved forward and gotten to see like how good they are in an international setting. And I think that's a valuable, really valuable experience to have, and for the globe to really respect like your work.
Well, and as you mentioned that MSI marks the beginning of the international chapter for the year, I think in order to contextualize that, Mark, we do have to look all the way back to the beginning of the LCS split for Cloud9. Again, they fell down to Team Liquid in that lock-in finals and then had 2 rematches where they were able to come out on top. But what a story it's been for this squad, along with the reformation of the squad and the acquisition of Perkz to come out on top in just their first split.
Yeah, it's really, really impressive considering, that there was going to be time to, have Fudge level up. As you kind of hear him talking about, he was like, I didn't start great. And I think to have all that growth in a single split is super impressive. And I don't expect this team to stop improving from here. This is not their peak. They're going to go to MSI, like Raz was saying, and continue to get better and then hopefully bring that back for Summer Split.
And they improved at a faster rate than they expected to. Sven even mentioned that they were expecting it to be a Summer Split first place round, right? Instead of a spring split. And he gave credit to their coaching staff for them to be able to get to this point. Like the fact that, we spoke about Mithy, Rainover, Max, and Veigar, it even capped it off on Game 5 with how smart they were as a team.
I have so many questions. I'm sorry. I have so many questions about where all those strategies, who made the call in the final moments for some of those picks, for some of those strategies to actually be executed. But Emily, I do want to continue this conversation, this overarching conversation about Cloud9's story and the fact that they will again be representing us at MSI, but with the context of how much growth they've made in such little time.
Yeah, I mean, so going into MSI, we look at North America and we're like, yeah, okay, you know what? We have a little bit more to improve maybe than the other major regions who are going, especially being a patch behind. I actually would argue that C9 is the perfect team then in this kind of situation, because just take a slice of their season and think about where they were in the beginning of the lock-in tournament to the end of the lock-in tournament and how like exponentially good that growth was just in that short amount of time. With boot camping against other teams, with like once they get on the ground are able to like practice on the patch against international teams, I'm so excited to see how much this team can improve.
Yeah, and you're right. I feel like just from a coaching aspect and from a player standpoint, they can definitely develop and really challenge themselves in their team identity. Right now, if you ask me what Cloud9 is going to be strong, their strongest suit, and what they're going to be bringing to international events is their jungle mid. And it's primarily Blabber. I mean, it doesn't have to be mid, because he's been doing a lot of good stuff towards the top side of the map as well, just going straight top lane. So if they can go there and refine it, for sure. They have a lot of time, by the way. First phase into the second phase of the tournament, just the ability to ramp up as MSI goes on.
And finally, just before we begin to cap out on this event, Mark, I think it's important to recognize the journey as well that all of our teams made, yes, in the LCS, but specifically Team Liquid. Again, a team that pushed us to one of the most incredible 5-game finals we've had in quite some time. And in such interesting fashion, they as well had a bit of a reformation with bringing Alfari in at the top and shooting for the stars in that regard, looking to recapture some of the glory that was the 4 years back to back to back to back. And they'll still have summer to take that chance, but this time they fell just short.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to sting extra bad just knowing that, you know, you had this awful situation that happened with Santorin having migraines and not being able to play. I think it's going to fuel them. They're going to be watching, you know, MSI from home on their couch thinking like, that should have been us. You know, it was such a close series. If we were fighting at full strength, I know we could have won. You know, like that's how people tend to think about it. So I expect them to come into summer with a huge fire under their butts, because they could have. They improved so much over the course of the year themselves.
And that's what I love, is that competition. Not only is Team Liquid pushing themselves based off of the last series they had with Cloud9 during the same playoff run, so that really pushed them and got them going. But now seeing this, you're right. And I think that helps both sides.
Yeah.
If Cloud9 had gotten it, everyone would have just been pissed off it was another 3-0. If it was another quick series, that helps no one, because what fuels and makes teams great going into international events is domestic competition. And so that's what I really needed, was Cloud9 being really like, you know, it's Cloud9 now. But if any team that we send, realizing they have a lot of tape to go over here, so that when they go into day one, they know what they need to improve on and get better at.
I just want to give a shout out to Armeo, who I think, like, honestly, like, we were expecting, like, this is a guy who's coming in, who's played in LCS before, who people feel like they have a clear-cut idea of who he is. Oh, he's not very good, et cetera, et cetera. He comes in, he's, like, under so much pressure. If he makes a single mistake, everyone's just going to blame the series loss on him. Performs, like, we said it yesterday, I feel like the best thing he could have done is not be targeted, right? Like, he comes out of that series and you're not looking at it like, wow, gee, Armeo was like such a liability. He performed really, really well, I think.
Yeah, and I think I saw fans, you know, on Reddit and Twitter and stuff saying like, hey, I'm ready to give, you know, him another shot. Like, I want to back LCS now. I think, like, this was, on an individual level, a performance that are going to make people take another look at him where they might not have, given how his academy season had ended a little bit disappointing in Proving Grounds.
And this is me in my, you know, academy rant where
here we go.
I was going to come out and say, like, give people a chance.
Yes.
Give them a chance. Like, Armeo, I'm just going to say it, watch Academy when you get the chance before we start splitting that stuff.
He's performed really well this year.
Performed incredibly well. I think we have a lot of great players down there. So if you got time in your day.
Well, you know what, Raz? You know what?
It's funny you say that.
We may have just crowned our new LCS Kings, but we've got more league coming your way tomorrow with the Proving Grounds. It continues, so if you're curious about some of that amateur talent out there in North America, that's the perfect way for you to check it out. Of course, come May, Cloud9 will be joining the likes of Damwon, Mad Lions, and many, many more of the world's top teams at MSI. On June 4th, though, it's also time for summer. We will be returning, here in the LCS. We've talked a lot about the MSI storylines. I want to talk a little bit about summer storylines. We've already lit in the fire under a couple of these top teams for what they want to do to maybe come back and challenge Cloud9 again. But I also think, again, this was such an intriguing split. If we remember storylines like Dignitas, the team that was so under-recognized at the beginning of the split and surprised us in such a brilliant way, Emily.
Yeah, I mean, Dignitas was honestly like my most fun team to watch from this past split. You know, their execution wasn't always the best, but they were incredibly fun. They believed in their own hands in late game team fights. Their team fight macro, especially coming out of Aphromoo and Neo, was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
So I really do want to see how much they can improve.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think like the young players on Dignitas, 100%. I would say even like the teams like FlyQuest or 100 Thieves. Remember, 100 Thieves, at the very beginning of the split, went so far in the lock-in tournament and had such high expectations that they're the ones that are probably burning up wherever they are. Like, that fire is definitely contagious within that team to go as far as they can in summer split to right the wrongs in spring.
And I'll call out one other team, Mark, and it's CLG. Again, riddled with some issues from the beginning of the split, not all of them under their control, but the resurgence that they made at the end of spring, which made a lot of people think what would have happened if they had just eked into that top 6. A reminder that in summer, it expands to top 8 who get to see the postseason, but I'm not even sure they'll need that expansion to make it in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you carry your record over, so it's unfortunate how the split started for them. But I think after Pobelter joined, it was something close to a 500 record for them. They were actually picking up a lot of wins and improving, and I think that they are a team that you would be crazy to think is going to stay around the 9th place finish that they got this time around.
All right, we got some time to wait, yes, between now and June 4th, but plenty of LCS storylines will come on that day. Before we call it a night, we do want to take a brief moment to say thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors supporting us. We are so fortunate to have partnered with all of you, and there you can see them on your screen now. We are, as always, made by many, and we are so grateful to everyone at home for joining us this spring, from broadcasting remotely to the LCS studio to the Greek. You have been here every step of the way, and we cannot thank you enough. We are sending a hot Cloud9 to Iceland, ladies and gentlemen. So now on behalf of myself, the casters, and our entire remote broadcast crew, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you and Cloud9 at MSI. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe,
Like, he comes
and be
out
good
of that
to each
series,
other.
and you're not looking at it like,
Get out of here. I saw him.
This is the Midseason Showdown.
These are the 2 teams in the LCS with the most trophies of anybody, of all time.
I'm excited to see that actually play out on Summoner's Rift. Malphite sighting!
Holy cow, Tactical just jumping in on top of 3.
He keeps it lively here on Summoner's Rift. Team Liquid have side lane dominance. It's TL supremacy for side lanes for this entire game.
Huni has arrived, but for what? For what? Team Liquid, 3-1, take them down.
I'm really excited to see what playoff Perks is going to look like in NA. In EU, it was no joke.
Now Ryoma the target, CC chain full to dead.
Fudge has been a monster for them this game.
And it's going to be the chase on for more. FBI not long for the world.
This best of 5 is the first one in the mid-season showdown where the loser goes home.
Huni gets some attention from BG. They attack him early on.
I think Sword Art has looked incredibly good in the last 3 games. In the last few weeks, he's been spot on.
Evil Geniuses fall to pieces. The Quadra kill him and lost. He has it in his name, but it's Evil Geniuses who couldn't win. Power of Evil's taken down. 5v2 here on the map. Let's see if Evil Geniuses can finish this off. Speaker goes into the pit. Baron's taken incredibly low. Baron is stolen away by Speaker.
Dignitas feels like it's greater than their individual pieces, and so much of it is spotlit by a few specific members.
Oh, the hook to get away from the minions. What can Afromoon not do?
That was insane.
There is insane comp advantage, it felt like, for 100 Thieves this series, and I liked how dominant they showed they are on it. If you're going to give us the power picks, we will absolutely run you over with them.
Now we get to find the re-engage.
Okay.
Big damage, big crunch, big 2 for 0. As well, FBI is on the chase. He's going to find Neo. That's 400 Thieves in complete control. Welcome to what is a preview many expect to be of the finals themselves. The two best performing teams in North America this year, no questions asked. Here he goes, pops it, gets the stun. Big damage in from Blabberg. That is how you coordinate a top dive. This is the first time in the LCS that Alfari has started this terrible of a start.
Because the Storm was coming and they're trying to put him down.
Top later,
It just never-
and the support, and the
Yeah.
kill. Like
It just didn't seem to matter. You just couldn't keep Perks down.
And Cloud9, they've still got Perks. Oh, baby, it's a quadra kill for the mid laner.
We're getting down to the nitty-gritty here of playoffs. Only a couple series remaining.
The charge, trying to find an opportunity or an angle here for the Mega Gnar, and there it is. 2 kills over to TSM, make it 3, and 100 Thieves collapse in the mid game.
Bootier just broke the sound barrier, I'm pretty sure there, Flowers. Look at his little feet. He's running, he's running. There's no getting out of there, Power People. Closer is coming for you.
Ryoma's trying to get away, he's shut down, and everybody on 100 Thieves is falling apart.
Did TSM improve enough to upset what happened in that first series? Because that was pretty TL favorite.
Last night, we received some unfortunate news from Santorin. Armeo is in.
Huge! Mega Gnar, Alfari, 1v9 in this game. Slow as well, Black Tentacles gonna be too late. Rocket's gonna find it and showing him how it's done. Lost, Rocket jumps in for a double kill. Gets it, flash engage, calling is beautiful, and it's already 4-0 TSM. And it's happened. The comeback is real. And they pop it, hard engage, Record today finds 3 timbers over the top. The backline engage, not yet a kill, but they find 1, they find 2. What a way to re-enter the scene versus his old team, TSM. Sun is gonna catch Lost, he's flashless, he is jinxed, and he is going to die. Oh! The re-engage, even bigger. Oh my goodness. Beacon now on the run as well. Oh, this is gonna be a tough one for TSM to get anything done. Oh! Let's go, what a shot. Domination by Team Liquid. They will get the rematch against Cloud9.
Everyone, say hello to your 2 finalists. It's Team Liquid and Cloud9.
Pentakill kicking off our mid-season Showdown Grand Finals in style. Well, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Summoner's Rift. Now Team Liquid, Tactical's able to take down Blabber. Elder Drake's still alive. Zen gets a return kill to core JJ. Perk's gonna be forced to tank up now with Armeo taken out next. The Dragon goes over to Tactical. The Dragon goes over to Team Liquid. The fight goes to Team Liquid. And the ace for Team Liquid. Tactical's already down. Cloud9, big fight. Double kill over to Perks. Looking for even more. Team Liquid joins the party only to be massacred. It's the red winning. And Cloud9 have room for every guest. Team Liquid under the Drake, Vulcan here into the fight. Beautiful shockwave on 3, but is it enough? Yes, it is. Team Liquid with a double kill here for the top lane. Perks dies for the first time. Zen wants to kite it out, but it will not happen, not today. Alfari's got the auto attack. Alfari's got the triple kill. Dragon be damned. Jensen shockwave, 1 game 3. Cloud9 are marching at the Nexus. Blabber leads the charge and the rest of his men falling behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, do you like League of Legends? Because we're going to Game 5. They won the regular season. They stayed in the upper bracket. And Cloud9 are your first ever mid-season Showdown champions.